And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Pulp Fiction.
What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Tony's Review. You saw right, I am reviewing Pulp Fiction today. So yes, Pulp Fiction is what we're reviewing today. This is perhaps been said Tarantino's masterpiece from all the films he has created. It's his second film, was made back in 1994. The cast, the dialogue, and the whole story itself is really what drives this film. And that being said, this is a review channel, so if you have not seen this film, I highly urge you to see it. It is good, it is great, it is iconic, it is one of those films you have to see, you know? Spoiler alert, you've been warned. And if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, and I'm pretty sure you've seen these Vincent Vega memes all over the internet, I think you know what I'm talking about. The cast is simply amazing. This is what makes the film, that and the dialogue alone. You got people like John Travolta, we got Samuel L. Jackson, we got Uma Thurman, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Eric Stoltz, Harvey Keitel, we got Ving Rhames, we got appearances by Christopher Walken, Steve Buscemi, and Quentin Tarantino himself is even in it. So basically, this takes place in a crime-riddled Los Angeles, California in the 90s. So he follows the lives of a variety of different characters that seem unrelated, but yet prove to be connected throughout the film through a bunch of wild, humorous, and crazy events. First we have Jules and Vincent. They are Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta. They're basically two hitmen who are out to retrieve a stolen briefcase to get back to their mob boss, Marcellus Wallace. The next story is about Vincent and Mia Wallace, which is John Travolta and Uma Thurman. Mia is actually the wife of Marcellus Wallace. He gets the job of escorting his boss's wife around while he's out of town. So he basically has to handle her and show her a good time, but things kind of get a little weird. And there's Butch and Marcellus Wallace. Butch is played by Bruce Willis, Marcellus Wallace, Ving Rhames. Basically, Butch is a pro champion boxer, and he gets bribed by Marcellus to take a dive and lose his fight. Doesn't really go that way. Butch ends up taking the bribe, but ends up winning the fight, actually accidentally killing his opponent. Marcellus isn't too happy about that, so he's out to get him. And finally, there's Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. The film actually begins with their story and ends with their story. They're basically these robbers, not really good robbers, very unnerved and different. They're basically a couple. They decide to rob this restaurant, and yeah, they happen to be in the restaurant with two other characters that they don't realize, and it turns into this funny ordeal. The movie is not in chronological order at all. So you see the beginning, and you see the beginning at the end, and you see parts of the middle, and you see different characters kind of cross. And if you pay attention, you can see other characters in other people's stories. It's interesting, it's different. But there's so many unforgettable moments in Pulp Fiction. For instance, like I mentioned in the beginning, like Samuel Jackson's Ezekiel 25:17 verse. Iconic. The adrenaline shot scene. That was intense. Uma Thurman's character Mia Wallace basically overdoses on heroin by accident. She thought it was cocaine in Vincent's jacket, but turns out it wasn't. So he has to go to his friend's house, played by Eric Stoltz, goes there, gets this adrenaline shot. Pretty epic scene. Well, there's a lot of humor in Pulp Fiction as well. And it goes a different route when it comes to humor, but it works. He makes it work very well. For instance, when Vincent accidentally shoots Marvin in the backseat of the car, and you can't help but laugh at that. I mean, yeah, it's pretty violent and gross, but it's funny to see violence be funny, you know? It's different. It's a different approach completely. This film has really just put Tarantino on the map. Back in '94, this was different. It was off the wall. It was something people never seen before. His approach on violence and dialogue is just great. The way he does everything is just amazing. Everything about this film just seems perfect to me. The storyline is very well put. The dialogue is amazing. The cast is great. Violence is very heavy yet entertaining in a way. There's so many different funny, humorous scenes and different dialogue that Tarantino puts into this film that really just makes it work. Gives the characters great background and makes them very likable. And that's what's great in a movie. You want something that attracts you. You want to be engaged. You want to like these characters and side with them, like them, not like them. That's great. That's good. That's what you want from your audience. Pulp Fiction is a 1990s film. Even now, I can rewatch it over and over again. It's one of those movies that just don't get old. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. That's all I got for you this time. Appreciate y'all stopping back by. Make sure y'all do it again next week. Come on.
Don't be a...
See how I did that? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. I will see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in.